This is the Great Basin prescribed fire briefing for Wednesday, November 27th. Looking across the Great Basin, we have projects of various sizes and complexities across the region from Idaho on down southwards. A lot of these are pile burns. Had one natural fire for just a fraction of an acre down outside of Vegas where our fuels are driest, and that's where it has been driest across much of the southern half and eastern portions of the Great Basin, other than the higher terrain, which had some recent precipitation, heaviest amounts by far across the central Idaho mountains. Our fuels reflect that. We have higher fuels. These are the 100-hour fuels, above 20% up north, and have even moistened up in southern areas. We've had some recent light precip in the last 4 to 8 days down there. Not a lot, but higher humidity. We look at recent snowfall, and we can see that some heavier amounts across the higher terrain of Utah, of upwards of 6 to 12 inches, maybe 4 to 8 inches across the central Idaho mountains and a bit across the Sierra front, and also the higher terrain outside of Ely. Snow cover map starting to get a little more extensive, some light snow accumulations in the valleys, and across the Uintas and Wasatch, maybe 1 to 2 feet of snow and maybe 2 to 4 feet of snow. Central Idaho mountains and across the Sierra front. The satellite imagery shows clearing skies, storm system which brought the recent precipitation moving south and east of the area. Otherwise, high pressure continuing across most of the area. So for today, here's the map. We have low pressure departing here. Cold front, you see the lingering moisture to our east and south. Drier air on northwest winds as Pacific high pressure starts nosing in. Still decent air quality and ventilation dispersion in these white areas, but it starts to decrease once you see these areas in the red. The winds overall light, except for the St. George to Vegas area. We'll have north winds, that typical downsloping, which could accelerate to 12 to 22 miles an hour at the surface, where humidity is also be near 20%, but much higher humidity elsewhere. Transport winds reflecting that light, except for southern areas where you could see transport winds of 20 to 30 miles per hour. Mixing heights excellent in southern areas, poorest in the central Idaho mountains with the snow cover. And again, that similar upper air pattern for Thursday, with similar humidity patterns, similar light winds, still a little bit more prevalent of some gustier conditions in the far south, mainly south of Vegas. And then on Thursday, the transport winds show a similar story. Mixing heights, again, best in the south and a little bit lower in the north. Now on Friday, high pressure starts nosing closer to the west coast. We're still under its influence, still a northwest flow, so temperatures overall near or slightly below normal, but we start seeing lower air quality, less ventilation. You see these areas in purple. This is during the peak heating hours in the mid-afternoon, so a lot of southern and central areas will see more and more air stagnation because of the lighter winds. Humidity here on the right. And again, the mixing heights very low here near the surface. A lot of inversions lingering throughout the day where you see these dark blue areas, improving a bit up in Idaho and western Wyoming where there'll be a bit more wind as well. 3-day precipitation totals, just some leftover light amounts here in Utah and Colorado, but the moisture pushing to the east. And later on in the period this weekend, high pressure starts really building in. We should see a warming in temperatures, except for these inversions. The areas in the purple, hazy skies, poor air quality, probably not a good burn period for a lot of areas. That pattern continues on Sunday and Monday. There'll be a storm system approaching on Tuesday, but it'll be deflected northwards because of this persistent high pressure area, along with very poor air quality for and air transport from most of the geographic area. Precipitation Saturday, Sunday into Monday morning, almost none, and same story into middle part of next week. And actually, these are the 7-day totals, most of this in the first 24 hours, but the 8 to 14 day continue to show warmer than normal temperatures, but also a significantly drier than normal pattern. So no big storm systems right on through December 10th as far as we can see. Concludes our briefing. Have a great Thanksgiving. We will continue these briefings on Monday, next Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and then we'll be suspending the prescribed fire and weather briefing for the rest of December and continue after New Year's. Have a great one. Have a great Thanksgiving.